I'm Carter with Thornfield Poultry. I vaccinate all of my chicks against Marek's disease. The commercial industry, poultry industry, has effectively eradicated Marek's from their populations because they vaccinate. And I encourage everyone to vaccinate their chicks against Marek's. Marek's is in the wild, so it's not something that we can readily defeat, and I think it's really important because it's a virulent disease, and I've experienced it being 100% fatal. I've heard a couple of people say that they had some birds survive. I had some of it survive initially, but they later succumbed to internal tumors, which typically that's what happens with Marek's. The bird develops internal tumors. They can also get an ocular form of Marek's and get tumors on the eye. So I wanted to show you how I vaccinate. I've been doing it a long time. I think it's really important to share our knowledge and experience and show people what works for us and why we think it might be a better way to vaccinate. So these are some of my little nippers that I'm going to vaccinate today. I have 11 in here, all of them black copper Marans, except for one, which is a sport white. So we're going to move into my bathroom because it's the best place right now until I get my other room set up in the house. This is the best room for me to vaccinate. So I'll meet you in there. Okay, so I've gotten everything set up and I'm going to show you that, but I first want to talk quickly about the type of vaccine that I use. For Marek's, the vaccines are either a serotype 3, 2, or 1. The most common and most available is the serotype 3, and it's a powder form that you just store in the refrigerator, and they send it with a bottle of diluent. So you remove a little diluent, mix it with the powder in its little vial, remove that, and then add that back to the bottle of diluent, and then you have your vaccine solution. So the difference between them is basically the efficacy rate. You've heard that a lot right recently with COVID, but the serotype 1 is more effective. It's 85 to 90% at least effective. And that's what I prefer to use, but it has to be stored in liquid nitrogen. And so you have to go get it. And I am fortunate enough to have a supplier who's about an hour away from me, well, the warehouse is, so I can go and get it. But that's what I use. So to use that vaccine, I pull the vial from my dewar, that's where it's stored in the liquid nitrogen, and then I thaw it in exactly 80-degree water. And I use a thermometer, and it's on 80 degrees, and I thaw it. While it's thawing, it just takes a couple of minutes, I get my syringes ready. So I'm going to put this down and show you what else I'm doing to get ready. So this is a 3 ml syringe, if I can get it open. And I will use this to extract the vaccine and mix it into the diluent bag. Open this up. All right, there we are. Have my diluent bag. So what I like to do with my syringe is make sure that the needle is on tight. And I'm funny, I like my bevel on the needle to be in line with my numbers so that, let's see if you can see that, my numbers and my bevel are in line so that when I'm drawing up, there we go, I can look at my numbers and I know where my bevel is. So I like to loosen the tip. Now, you get 5 doses per 1 ml syringe because it's 0.2 mLs per chick. So I have 11 chicks. I'm going to have to use 3 syringes. Now, these syringes have 26 gauge needles on them. That is too small, especially for live vaccine. With the serotype 1 vaccine, the virus is actually put into a chick cell. That's the live virus, and that's what we mix with the diluent and inject into the chick. So because it's a live virus inside a cell, if we use too small a gauge of needle, it can damage those cells, and then our vaccine won't be as good. So I switched these needles, and the only reason I have to switch these is because I was stupid when I ordered, and I ordered the wrong gauge. I ordered 26 gauge. I don't know where my mind was, but I should have ordered 20. 18 or 20 will work. Now, it is a bigger needle, but believe it or not, it doesn't really hurt the chick anymore. My syringes are all ready, and it's time to mix the diluent. So I can pull the vial out, and here's the thing, we do not want to disturb this vial very much. Again, the virus is within cells, so we don't want to damage those cells. So this is a cool little tool that I got off Amazon, and it's just an ampule opener, and it'll just pop it right off. Now, here's the thing, you don't want to open it that way, because it could spray virus towards you. So we're going to pull it the top of it toward me. All right, that was quick and easy. There you go. Nice and sweet. And then that just pops out the little top. That's all there is to it. Okay. So here's my virus. I'm going to draw it up. Again, I'm not shaking. I'm just going to draw it up. Let's see what you can see of that. All right. Now, yes, there's some still in there. Don't worry about that. I'm going to get it. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to inject this into my diluent bag. It's not wanting to go in. It needs to flow in smoothly and easily. If it doesn't, extract your needle like I did. Now, and then reinsert it. So now my vaccine, or most of it, is in there. All I want to do to mix it is this. I don't want to shake the damn thing. Okay, again, live virus, the cells can get damaged. This is all it takes. So now, to get that last little bit of vaccine, I'm going to extract some of my diluent and put it back in the ampule. Okay, and then draw that back out. And I can also all right, pretty good go there. And I'm going to inject the last. And I'll do one more little. I like to break these off, drop them back in the syringe, and put it in my biohazard container. Okay, so we're just going to do this again a few times. All right. Now I need to fill my syringes. The other thing too, if you use a gauge needle, the smaller you go in the number, the larger the gauge. If you use too small a gauge, it's really hard to draw up enough vaccine. So I'm going to try to do this so you can see. I like to hold the bag up. And I'm just going to draw it to the 1. Maybe a little bit over, because then I like to hold it and thump it. Get any bubbles up to the top. And then I'm just going to push this a little bit. Yep, 1 went up. And then I'll draw back out to the proper line. And just by squeezing the bag, it helps the vaccine go into the syringe a little bit better. All right, we're going to start with chicks. And something I've learned to do that I like is, I'm going to find a cloth here. I actually like to get a good number of chicks and put them in the sink. Look how dark that eggshell is. Woo! So excited. All right. So once I vaccinate, I'll put the chick back in the hatching basket. All right, so who's first? Another thing I like to do is have a light right here. Is that going to blind you? Hopefully not. Okay, so when I get them, I just like to check them over. Maybe that is going to blind you. I just like to check them over, check their feet, look for any obvious abnormalities. We have 2 eyes, our wings look good, nothing obviously bad. So with fewer chicks, I can take my time. That's the other thing. When you mix your vaccine, whether it's a serotype 1 or serotype 3, I'll talk to you here. Hang on, baby. Okay, so when you mix your vaccine, whether it's a serotype 1 or a serotype 3, you have 1 hour in which to use it. So, but you can do a lot of chicks in 1 hour. I can do, now I've been doing a lot, I know, but I can do 50 chicks within like 35, 40 minutes, 45 at the outside. And so, but when I have that many, I don't do a real thorough check. It's a little just quicker go over, but just remember that hour time limit, because your vaccine won't be any good after that. Get it where you can see. So when I vaccinate, it's important. These vaccines have to be sub-Q. That means they go under the skin, okay? Not into the muscle, not into anything, but under the skin. So the best place on a chick with a lot of skin, typically, is the neck. Now, some have more flesh than others there, but what I found, if they don't have a lot of flesh, move up closer to the skull. Now, I'm going to drop him here. I'm just going to let go. And this is great. He's behaving, or she. So, be prepared. But be ready to go. All right. And that's all it was. That's all it was. So see, he got more upset by me picking him up by the scruff of his neck than he did the vaccination. And that was with a big needle, too. And see, he's perfectly fine. That just scared me a little bit. So I'm going to put him down. Back in the basket. Hi. Oh, just a little bitty thing. Oh, you don't have. Okay. Now, when I lift up the scruff, you have a V here. I don't know if you can see that. A V where you've lifted it up. And what you want to do is put your needle bevel side up, okay? So it's like putting a spade in the earth when you're digging a hole. So you want easy babe, you want the bevel side up, and then you're gonna just put it in as easy as you can. These needles are just a tad longer than what I wanted. I think these are 3/4 inch. I actually was looking for 1/2 inch, but I just don't have to stick it in as far. Okay, we got one problem. This is good. If you can see, there is a little bubble of fluid on top. That is vaccine. I told you a minute. Okay, so it did not go in the way it was supposed to, and that happens. But all you have to do is, it's a do-over. You just vaccinate him again. It does not hurt for him to be vaccinated, or her, for the chick to be vaccinated twice. Hang on. Okay, all right. See, all calm. So actually I think that's only the first time I've had it where it came back up at me. A lot of times what happens, I will see some liquid on my black glove, and that's when I know because usually what happens when you put the needle in, you actually put it through the skin twice. So you're actually vaccinating the outside of the chick. So that's the first time I've had it come back up at me. Regurgitate. Oh, baby. You're an athletic little thing. Okay. A lot of time. Now, I kind of put the needle close to the skull. Whoop, 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 whoop. So I like to touch the skull with the back of the needle, so to speak, and I'm going to angle down. I don't want to angle down this way. I don't want to angle out that way, but I try to think of being parallel to this little neck there. So thanks so much for your time. I hope you picked some things up. Please think really seriously about vaccinating your chicks. Yes, it's an additional expense, but people who breed puppies often vaccinate them before they leave. I put them under the classification of a responsible breeder. And so I think a responsible chicken breeder should vaccinate their chicks. That's just my 2 cents. Other people will disagree with me, but I firmly believe that a vaccinated chick is better than an unvaccinated chick. All done. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.